Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're a photography enthusiast or just starting your journey, you know how important it is to have the right camera. Today we're diving into the top 6 best Sony cameras that are perfect for every skill level. From stunning full-frame options to compact models that pack a punch, we'll help you find the perfect gear to capture those amazing moments. All of the link to find the best prices of the cameras are in the description below. So whether you're shooting landscapes, portraits, or just everyday adventures, stick around as we explore what makes these cameras stand out. Let's jump in. Number 6. Sony ZV-E1. The Sony ZV-E1 is basically a one-stop shop for vloggers and content creators. While other brands have started to branch out into producing vlog-centric cameras, Sony is the first to release a dedicated vlogging camera with a full-frame sensor. This camera is made with useful AI-enabled framing and autofocus assistance features that are great for single-camera operators. It also features in-body image stabilization, a solid internal directional mic, internal 10-bit 422 recording, and a wealth of picture profiles and codecs. It's the best Sony camera for video if you're looking for a compact vlogging workhorse. The Sony ZV-E1 feels incredibly well built. The camera is dust and moisture resistant. The camera's battery life is excellent, with a 570-shot CPA rating. On the video side, battery life is great but falls short of the advertised 140 minutes. The Sony ZV-E1 managed to get 108 minutes of continuous video recording when shooting in 4K at 30 FPS. Like other Sony cameras, the Sony ZV-E1 uses a hybrid phase and contrast detection autofocus system but uses the same AF technology, including an AI processor. It uses a smaller APS-C sensor that isn't as well suited to low-light situations, and it has more limited frame rate options, but it's a very capable video camera for the price. Number 5. Sony ZV-E10. The Sony ZV-E10 is the best budget model in Sony's camera lineup. While it's designed with vloggers in mind, it's an excellent value camera that works well for photography too, as long as you don't mind giving up a viewfinder. It uses a similar sensor to the Sony a6400 above and adds a fully articulated screen that makes it easier to monitor yourself while recording or taking selfies. Other additions include a better internal microphone and a headphone jack. The camera feels well built. It's made of plastic and feels similar in build quality. The screen is fully articulated and has a decently high resolution. Thankfully, it gets bright enough that you can still see what's on the monitor in sunnier conditions. Battery performance is great. It's rated for 440 shots according to CPA standards. The Sony ZV-E10 has 4 different continuous shooting speeds: low, mid, high, and high plus. The low speed setting has a max burst rate of about 4 FPS. Mid has a max of 6 FPS, high has a max of 8 FPS, and high plus has a max of about 11 FPS. Ultimately, if you can live without a viewfinder, this is a great budget option that's well suited to both vloggers and beginner photographers. Number 4. Sony Alpha 6400. If you want to save even more money, the older APS-C Alpha lineup is a great middle ground option for those who still want a versatile camera but don't have the budget for a Sony a6700. The Sony a6400 is the true mid-range option. The a6400 doesn't have built-in image stabilization like the a6700, but it has a higher resolution viewfinder and sturdier body than the a6100, offering a good balance of features and price. Build quality is great overall. It's weather sealed for some light protection against dust and moisture, with top and front pieces made of magnesium alloy. The Sony a6400 shoots at a fairly quick max burst rate. It's fast enough for everyday sports and action photography. The Sony a6400 uses a hybrid autofocus system with both phase and contrast detection focus points. This generation of Alpha cameras have what Sony calls real-time AF tracking, which integrates the camera's subject detection with face and eye detection. The Sony a6400 has a tilting screen. The tilting mechanism feels solid, and the screen gets plenty bright, so you'll still be able to see it on sunnier days. The Sony a6400 also still perfectly suitable for more casual video work and vlogging. Number 3. Sony Alpha 6700. If the Sony a7 IV is out of your price range, stepping down to the Sony a6700 is a great way to save a bit of money. This APS-C hybrid camera is one of the most capable mid-range models and one of the most well-rounded crop sensor models on the market. It significantly improves with a new higher resolution sensor, more processing power, and impressive video features, like 4K video at up to 120 FPS and internal 10-bit log recording. The Sony a6700 is great for travel photography. It's relatively compact and easy to travel with, has good ergonomics, and a long battery life. It's also a very well-built camera, with a weather-sealed body to protect against elements like rain and dust. The EVF has a standard 2.36 million dot resolution. It isn't game-changing, but it provides a crisp view of your subjects when shooting through the viewfinder. The camera has excellent overall battery performance. It's sepia rated for about 550 photos on a full charge when shooting through the EVF or 570 shots when shooting with the screen. The camera features an effective in-body image stabilization system and Sony's most sophisticated autofocus yet, with AI-driven subject detection and tracking. Number 2. Sony Alpha 7C2. The Sony A7C2 is a compact full-frame camera that's well-suited to both photo and video work. With a new 33-megapixel sensor, along with a new AI-powered processor, as seen on the Sony ZV-E1 and Sony a6700, it can capture images with stunning detail and offers new features like auto-framing and improved subject detection algorithms. Overall, it's another well-rounded addition to Sony's stable of full-frame cameras and a great fit for those who prefer more compact bodies but don't want to give up the high-end features and image quality of a full-frame camera. The electronic viewfinder isn't much bigger than the one we saw on the Sony A7C. It's still on the smaller side and not the most comfortable to hold your eye against without a real eye cup. The camera uses the same NPFC 100 battery as the Sony A7C before it did. While the A7C II has a slightly lower sepia rating than its predecessor, it still has an excellent battery life overall. The Sony A7C II feels very well built. The body feels solid and is made of sturdy materials, including a magnesium alloy chassis and hard plastic exterior. Number 1. Sony Alpha 7 IV. The Sony A7 IV isn't just the best Sony Alpha camera we've tested, it's one of the best cameras we've tested. This enthusiast-oriented hybrid camera supports a 33-megapixel sensor with plenty of dynamic range and boasts one of the best autofocus systems of its class. That makes it a great fit for faster subjects, with respectably quick burst shooting, although it slows down considerably if you shoot uncompressed RAW files. That aside, the A7 IV is also a video powerhouse, with 4K recording at 60 FPS albeit with a crop, no recording time limits, and internal 10-bit 422 color depth to capture everything from cinematic footage to slow-motion action. Aside from being well-suited to a wide range of photo and video styles, the camera is also built to last, with a sturdy weather-sealed body, a vari-angle touchscreen, and a high-resolution electronic viewfinder that gives you a crisp view of your subject, not to mention dual memory card slots, one of which supports faster CF Express cards and all the ports you need for video peripherals. All that hardware and processing power comes at the expense of portability, but if you're looking for a fantastic all-arounder, this is the Sony camera to get. That's a wrap. We hope you had a blast going through our list of best Sony cameras. If so, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Also, let us know in the comments which camera you're planning to pick. Let's make it happen. Thanks for watching. We will see you in our next videos.